Hi, welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. We're going to do a little frog gigging tonight, so I have to improvise a couple shafts for some steel gigs that I'm carrying in my haversack right now. And I found a donor tree behind me here. So I'm going to harvest that real quick and we'll go through the process. So this isn't the straightest stick in the forest here, but I think this will work out for us. So now I'm going to start the process of fitting the head. I believe this is an Eagle Claw brand frog gig. Now I'm going to cut this in flush and then start to taper it down until I have the proper contact fit with the gig itself. That's pretty close. If I can make it just a little bit more uniform, I'd be happy with that. So I just tapered the socket down to where I've actually got a friction fit right now. And then what I'm going to do is I've got a Phillips screw. This is actually a stainless one. I'm going to drive it through this hole and that's going to anchor the gig into place. I'm going to use the awl on my Swiss Army and I have to mark a hole. Go ahead and start it. So out of my 10-piece kit I've got my Leatherman. And I'm going to use the screwdriver with that. So I've got the gig anchored to this pole. This is probably about a 7-foot gig right now. Got a good foot of clearance. So this first gig's all finished up. You know, I've got a stainless screw screwed through there holding it in place. Now this other gig I purchased, I bought this on Amazon. This is a B&M gig, and this is significantly larger than the picture looks. So definitely be aware when you do this. This gig, it's definitely a cheaper gig. The tines are thinner, quite a bit of flex. This one, I mean, you see the size difference. You know, this one, you know, is probably a 2-inch gig. This one here, you know, we're looking at 3 inches across. So I'm afraid this is going to be a little large for most of the frogs we're going to be seeing tonight. So we're going to have to work on centering up a lot more. But I'm going to head and mount this on a pole and we'll compare the differences. You know, strength and size versus the proper size in my opinion. And this thin taper might go in the frogs quite a bit easier. So this pole here got real skinny real quick. So when I cut it down to where I could justify the size, I am just over head high. So I'm still good on this. I got to put a screw in here yet. And this is a pretty good straight shot here. Got a little bit of kick to it, but for what we're going to be using it for, it's going to be just fine. Put your light on right in his eyes. Okay, you gotta pin him to the ground. Okay, get him. Pin him to the ground. Okay. Okay. Let's see here.
This works pretty good.
I figured it would. Let's see the frog. Good.
Legs aren't too big.
Nope. Little guy. So filming in the dark while gigging frogs is actually harder than it sounds. We got one in the bag already. Ethan got that with the small gig. This one was a pretty good, pretty close shot. So I thought I'd try the larger gig on him. And you know, it works, but it's definitely more room for error. You know, good possibility of missing the frog entirely. We came out with a larger spotlight, and it was an older one. I haven't used it in a while, and it lasted 10 minutes tops and died. So we're down to just our headlamps right now. Quite a bit of frogs out tonight. You know, hopefully I can get a couple more gigs on camera. But as you hear him going off here, we will. I'll do the best I can filming, but you know, the improvised or the poles on these manufactured gigs make life easy. You know, you jam the frog down, stick him hard into the mud, get the barbs in them, and then you can pull them up. You don't have that luxury with an improvised gig. Let's get back to hunting. Get him.
Got him. I saw that pass.
Okay, give it a little twist. Try to pick him up easy. Get him. Don't go in over your boots.
I'm not. Yeah, he's in there.
Got another one?
Alright. I'll get him. Shall we hit this ditch?
Okay.
Gonna get him.
Feel down there, make sure. So our frog hunt was a success. As you can hear, we left quite a bit of frogs out there, but we ended up with 5 frogs in the bag total. The larger gig worked just fine. The smaller gig that I was worried about the durability on, I believe that's Eagle Claw brand. We hit a rock, you know, we did bend a tine, we were able to straighten it up. So I guess the fact that it's softer really didn't hurt us in that sense. We were able to repair it. We weren't real selective on size, you know, but this is typical of the size frog that we got. But 5 frogs, you know, for 2 people, that's not much. 1 guy, that's quite a meal. And we've only been out here maybe a little over an hour. So this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you next time.